Thought I'd talk a little bit about this being my second video, still on that learning curve, trying to figure out how all this works. And I thought I'd share with you on this video a little bit about a book that I was reading. I started reading a book called Atomic Habits, and it's supposed to be about setting goals and achieving goals. And since I'm working on a goal right now of figuring out how to do YouTube, it seemed like an appropriate book to buy. So a little bit about that. I made myself a few notes so I could tell you what I've learned. One concept I thought was interesting in the book was about goals versus becoming. And the thing that it talked about is that you could have goals, and a goal is like, my goal is to lose 10 pounds by the summer. So that's a goal. And sometimes that's hard to achieve because goals can be affected by a lot of things, like being motivated and things that get in the way of making it happen, like time constraints, things like that. But becoming, I thought that was interesting, that becoming is more about embodying that goal, I guess you could say. So rather than saying I want to lose 10 pounds by the summer, I want to say I want to become a healthy person. And when you do that, I guess the theory in the book is that you're kind of identifying who you are, and it becomes more ingrained, and I guess more of a part of your being. So rather than saying I have a goal of losing 10 pounds by summer, I'm going to become a healthy person. And what do I need to do to become a healthy person? Well, what I'm doing right now, walking. I'm a person who walks. I'm a person who eats healthy. I just thought that was an interesting way to look at it, instead of a goal, which sometimes can be a little daunting, maybe a little bit more negative because you fail or achieve it. But becoming is who you are, my identity. What kind of person do I want to be? So I thought that was kind of cool. The other thing is actions being kind of like every action you take. Like, for example, that healthy person. I might take an action of, when I go to the grocery store, I'm not going to buy that bag of chips or those cookies that looked really good. So I'm taking an action of choosing better food products. Right now, I'm taking an action of walking and doing this video. Even though it's uncomfortable and I'm not real good at it yet, I'm taking that action. So kind of like a fake it till you make it type thing, but more concrete, because I'm not faking it, I'm actually doing it. So taking actions, and each action you take, being it positive or negative. It could be negative, you might choose to deal with stress by smoking or drinking, or you could do a positive thing like exercising, to deal with stress. So each time you make an action, it's like a vote. So the more votes you cast in the direction you want, the more likely you are to achieve what it is you're after. So also be willing to be uncomfortable. New habits feel strange. New actions may feel awkward. Holding this gimbal and trying to do these videos definitely feels awkward. So just be okay with that. Realize that's normal and that's part of what you're trying to do and how you're trying to change. and the awkwardness will get better. It'll get a little easier and a little more polished as you take those actions. And then something else was baby steps. You know, I always like to say baby steps. If a goal or an action or something you're trying to achieve is huge, you know, sometimes it helps to break it down into smaller pieces and chunk it down. You know, I want to become a healthy person. That's a huge goal. I mean, that's a huge thing that I'm striving for. So that can feel overwhelming, you know, especially when I have a bad day and I might decide to eat some things I shouldn't or skip that walk, and then you can get down on yourself. But, you know, if you break it down, you know, maybe today I just have enough energy to walk around the block. And it's not a long walk, but 5 or 10 minutes of something kind of tells your body and your brain that you're still working for that, and it's better than not doing anything at all. So, and then celebrate the small wins. Things that you do and you accomplish, you know, maybe you did take that walk and it was only 10 minutes, but hey, you did it. That's a small win. You know, tell yourself, you know, at least I made the attempt. I showed up. And I'm proud of myself for that. I'm proud that I was able to do that. And maybe my win is I'll treat myself to a TV show to relax for a half hour, and or something like that. Something like that would be good. Then self-talk. You know, we forget how much what we say to ourselves in our heads can impact who we are, how we feel. You know, get down on yourself. I've heard people do that before, when they do something and go, that was stupid. I'm stupid for doing that. You're not stupid. You're human. People make mistakes. That's part of learning and growing. Doesn't make you a stupid person. But when you say those things, your brain doesn't know the difference. It's kind of like a computer that you're programming. It doesn't know if the programming is positive, negative, hurtful, helpful. So when you say those things to yourself, the negative things, the getting down on yourself things, the I can't do this things, it's programming you, and in a way that you don't want it to program you. So, you know, maybe be a little bit more cognizant of those times and try to correct them. You know, you do something, I'm stupid. No, I'm not stupid. I just made a mistake. I'll learn from it, move on, and do better next time. And then finally, if you miss a day, I mean, we all have those off days, the times when we don't want to motivate ourselves, or, you know, if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. Just make it up the next day. That's kind of what I did. I told myself I was going to do these once a week. Yesterday was once a week. Well, I missed it by a day. But the sooner you get back on the wagon, the sooner you get back on those actions that you're wanting to accomplish, the better. You know, don't drag it out for days and weeks and then months, and then pretty soon you're like, I guess I'm not going to be that kind of person after all. So anyways, this is my second video, practice video, and I just thought I'd share with you, like I said, a little bit of what I was learning from my reading. It's one of the things I'm trying to become. I think I'm already a reader, but I'd like to be a more disciplined reader, somebody who reads at night instead of being on my devices. It's easier to go to bed at night when I'm not looking at a computer screen or a phone screen, or more looking at the pages of a book and learning a few things while I'm at it. So anyways, I think that's it for this time. I'll play this back and share it with you, and we'll hope it was better than last time. But each time, hopefully it gets a little bit better. Just one thing Atomic Habits also said is 1%. If you can do 1% a day, yeah, think of how many percents, how many you know, how that adds up daily. So 1% a day, or even 1% a week. Just little small goals. It doesn't have to be anything big. And you'll get better. Things will get better. You'll get more accomplished and things will start happening. I hope to see myself in a year. I'll look back on these videos and go, woohoo, you came a long ways. So anyways, that's only by doing it consistently, which is what I'm going to try to do. So thanks again for listening to me, and have a good day, everybody. Bye.